What is the main culprit that slow down your WordPress website? Well, these are images. And in this video, I want to show you a 3-step process to alleviate your website and make it much faster. These 3 steps are very simple. First, you need to resize, then you need to compress, and finally, you need to convert. So resizing your images means that quite often your images are way too big and you need to make them smaller. Then you need to compress your image just to save up some space. They can be much smaller in terms of size, in terms of kilobytes or megabytes, obviously. And finally, you need to convert them into a format that is faster, that is more next gen. And usually people work with JPEG and PNG, but you have a new format specifically for internet. It's called WebP. It's perfect for website, it's faster, and you should use it because most navigators are compatible. Let's check out this example. So I have the same images, but 4 different versions. The first one has no resizing, compression, and it's not a WebP. So the first one is almost 2 megabytes. This is the first version. Then let's go on the second version. This version is twice smaller. You can't see any difference, but the first one is 1920 pixels of width and the second one is only 960, so it makes a big difference. And as you can see here, I have almost 2 megabytes the size, and here it's just 500 kilobytes. So we almost divided the size of this image by 4, and you can't see any difference. Honestly, there is no difference. Obviously, you don't want to do that if you need an image in full width, like if you need a banner, for instance. A huge banner, I recommend to stick with 1920 at the minimum, but you can still compress the image, you can still optimize it, you can still convert it to WebP. So let's go back here. Then you have a third version here. This is the compressed image. So you have the second version of my image and the third version. You cannot see any difference. Neither, and this one is just 87 kilobytes instead of 540 kilobytes. Finally, we have the fourth version. So we did the conversion in WebP from JPEG to WebP. So let's open again the third version, and then this is the WebP version. Do you see any difference? Honestly, I don't. So let's check the size. The third version is 87 kilobytes, and the last one is 43 kilobytes. So we went down from 2 mega here all the way down to 43 kilobytes. So it's much smaller, and it can make a big difference on your pages for your website. So first, if you need to resize your images and you want to do that before uploading the image on your website, because I know that you can use plugins to optimize your images on your website, but I recommend at first that you do everything before you upload on your website. And if it's a brand new website, it's just easier to do that before. You don't need any plugin for that. You can just do the manual labor and you're good to go. So I recommend you to do that by default, and only if you have a much bigger website, if you have a lot of images, if you have a website with a lot of history already, maybe you can use a plugin, and I will show you a plugin in this video as well. But first, you can resize an image using this website, iloveimages.com. So you can just select an image. Then you can go down by pixels or by percentage. So this one is very useful. You can just go down by percentage, like 25, 50 or 75% smaller. And you have the before and after here in comparison. So you can just click on resize image and you have the new version of your image. If you need a banner for your website in full width, I recommend you to stick with 1820 pixels of width. And this is the minimum, because if you have more, let's say if you have 4K monitors in 4K, 4K can go up to, I have the number here, it's 3840 pixels, up to 3840 pixels. So it can be a lot bigger if you have 4K monitors. So a good middle ground would be around 2560 pixels. I think it's a good number if you need to work with banners and you want to be future proof. But the minimum is really 1820 pixels. So you just click on resize image and boom, you're done. This is the first step. Then the second step is to compress your image. So you can use this website. It's a very good one. Just go to compressjpeg.com. You have the link in the description of the video. and you can drag and drop your images here, and you can download them, and boom, you're done for the compressed part. Your image will be smaller in size. Then finally, you need to convert your image into WebP format. So you have this website, WebP Converter. If you come from JPEG, you select this option, JPEG to WebP. I think it's in French. I'm sorry about that. Let's go to English. JPEG to WebP. Then you can drag your images from the one that you compressed already. You take the compressed version, you drag it here, and then you download it again, and you will have the final version resized, compressed, and converted. Then and only then you can upload your image to your WordPress website, and you will have image really optimized to have a very performant website. So if you need a plugin to do that on the fly, if you don't want to do any manual work, you just want to use a plugin, well, I have this plugin for you, Imagify. This is the default I would use for optimizing my image. It's a French company, but it's a very famous, very well-known and respected plugin from the same team like WP Rocket that you may know. It's the most popular cache plugin in the world. So let's install this plugin and activate it. I can show you very quickly the settings, but it's very straightforward, so it's easy to use, easy to set up. Activate. So first you need to sign up for a free account if you just want to have a free trial with a few credits, and then you will need to use the paid version of Imagify to do the work for you. But it's really easy to set up, and it's a great plugin, and everything I just showed you, it's being done by Imagify on the fly, so it's very useful. Once you have created an account, you can use your API key. Now it's done, okay, and we can go to the settings. So let's check the settings together. Everything is set up properly by default most of the time. You don't need to really change anything, but let's check together the different settings. You want to auto-optimize your images on upload, so it means that now moving forward, all the images that you upload on your website will go through Imagify process, meaning resize, compress, and convert. You want to back up your original images. It depends if you know what you're doing. Sometimes if you work on a small website, honestly, I don't really want to back up the original images. But if you're not sure about that, I think you should leave it checked by default. And the lossless compression is really important if you're working on let's say a photographer website, a website where the images are really important. So in this case, you would want to check lossless compression. But for 99% of you guys, you don't need to check this box. Then you do want to create WebP version of images, and you want to display the images in WebP format on the website. So you should check this box. And this is perfect by default also, just leave it like that, as well as the different images. So remember that all the images that you upload on your website are being resized by WordPress itself into many different sizes. So it means that when you upload an image, you will have like 5 different versions of this image. So it's gonna use the credits from Imagify. So just pay attention to this if you want to only optimize the original image, because you know for a fact where you want to use this image and you uploaded the right size, and you don't want to have all these different versions. You can uncheck them, just click on unselect all, and you will save some credits from Imagify, as well as some disk space, disk storage from your hosting provider. Okay, now I don't want to display this menu, Imagify, it's not really necessary. I click on save changes, and you can also now you can click on save and go to bulk optimizer. So the bulk optimizer is important because you want to optimize the images that you have already uploaded previously. So all the images you have now in the media and the library of your WordPress website are not optimized. So you need to launch this tool. So you just need to click on Imagify. I'm not sure about how I pronounce it. So I just click on that and start the optimization. You will know when it's completed. Just here, you will have 100%, and you can have unoptimized images if you unselected the different sizes created by WordPress, like I just showed you. You will have some images that are not being optimized, and you will have unoptimized images, but this is completely fine. Well done. Okay, it's done already, of course, because I have only one image on this website. And this is how you do it, guys. That's it. If you want to use Imagify, And if you don't want to do the manual work I just showed you, this is why you would use a plugin like Imagify or image compression plugins in general. You have many more plugins. You have some free plugin that can be very interesting. It does not the same job, the exact same job as Imagify, but you can still compress images, let's say compress, maybe resize, I'm not sure about resizing, but you have one plugin called Smush, which is a good one also. It doesn't do the WebP conversion in the free version at least. So Imagify is the best plugin I think out there, but if you want to use another one, you can try another one. At the end of the day, it does the same job. So don't forget about the 3 steps process if you want to have a faster website: resize, compress, and convert. And if you want to go deeper into optimization, maybe you have heavy plugin that you don't really need. Let's say you use an SEO plugin like Rank Math or Yoast, but you don't need 95% of the features that you can find in these plugins. Maybe you should use a lighter plugin, let's say Slim SEO. And by the way, I have a tutorial about Slim SEO, which is a lot lighter than Rank Math and Yoast. And this is maybe a good move for you in order to have a more performant website overall. So you should check out this video about Slim SEO.